Welcome to the Deep Dive with Farmtips Diary. Today we explore how farming has survived and adapted during recessions over the past 50 years, uncovering the lessons of ownership shifts, technology, financial strategies, historical echoes, and what they tell us about resilience in the future. For many, recessions are abstract terms in economic reports, but for farmers, recessions are storms that hit directly at the foundation of their livelihood. When global economies slow, food prices fluctuate, credit tightens, and uncertainty spreads across rural communities, the past half-century provides us with a living archive of how farms weather crises. Each recession tells a story not only of pain but also of adaptation. Farmers faced collapsing markets, rising debt, and global shocks. Yet again and again, they found ways to bend without breaking. Ownership, land use, and access to credit. The 1970s oil crisis was the first shockwave of modern agriculture in the global economy. Input costs rose rapidly, while credit became harder to access. Farmers dependent on borrowed capital suddenly found themselves exposed. Many lost land to banks, reshaping patterns of ownership. Large agribusinesses absorbed smaller farms, while cooperatives emerged in some regions to pool resources. Families who survived often did so by diversifying land use, combining crop production with livestock or off-farm income. The 1980s farm crisis in the United States stands as a cautionary tale. High interest rates and falling commodity prices led to mass foreclosures. Generations of farmers saw their family legacies disappear. Yet in the shadow of loss, community land trusts and grassroots lending circles emerged, providing alternate forms of credit that bypassed traditional banks. Ownership and access to credit remain central issues in every recession. Who can borrow, who can hold land, and who must sell all shape the structure of farming during hard times. Technology under pressure. Recessions often act as strange accelerators for technology. In the 1970s and 80s, farmers turned to mechanization not out of ambition, but necessity. Tractors replaced laborers because wages and fuel costs demanded efficiency. In the 2008 financial crisis, precision agriculture technologies gained traction. Farmers adopted GPS-guided equipment, soil sensors, and variable-rate fertilizer systems to stretch every dollar further. Drones and satellite monitoring began to emerge, not as luxuries, but as survival tools. Interestingly, downturns pushed farmers toward efficiency rather than expansion. Scarcity forced creativity. Farmers who embraced smarter tools often emerged from recessions leaner but stronger. Technology became both shield and sword, protecting yields while cutting costs. Financial strategies for survival. While technology kept fields productive, families had to keep households afloat. Recessions strain not only balance sheets, but the psychology of farming. Unstable incomes place enormous pressure on family life. Some farmers diversified into value-added products, selling jams, cheeses, or specialty goods to secure steadier income streams. Others pursued off-farm employment, using wages from factory work or services to keep farms solvent. Risk pooling became a key survival tactic. Crop insurance expanded in many regions after the 1980s crisis. Futures markets and cooperative marketing groups gave farmers tools to manage price swings. The lesson across decades is clear. Resilient farmers think like portfolio managers. They spread risk, create cushions, and adapt household economics to weather downturns. Echoes of past crises in today's strains. When we look at today's challenges, history seems to rhyme. Inflation erodes purchasing power. Credit is again tightening. Energy and fertilizer prices fluctuate with geopolitical tensions. The echoes of the 1970s and 2008 resonate clearly. Globalized supply chains add new vulnerabilities. A pandemic can halt trade routes overnight. Climate change magnifies shocks with floods, droughts, and heat waves layered on top of financial stress. Yet the core dynamics are familiar. Rising costs, falling prices, and financial fragility create pressure. The question remains whether today's farmers will draw strength from past lessons or repeat mistakes. The resilience of farming. Perhaps the most striking lesson of 50 years is that farming does not collapse under recession. It transforms. Farms consolidate, adapt, and innovate. Communities reorganize. Families lean on one another. New institutions and technologies arise in the cracks left by crisis. The rhythm of seasons does not wait for recessions to pass. Fields must still be planted. Animals must still be fed. Harvests must still be brought in. This relentless cycle forces resilience. Farmers endure because they must, and in doing so, they reinvent what resilience means with each generation. Recap and reflection. We have explored how past recessions reshaped ownership and access to credit, how technology served as a survival tool, and how financial strategies helped families stabilize. We saw echoes of the 1970s and 2008 in today's struggles, and we found that farming always bends but rarely breaks. If you found this exploration insightful, remember to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to Farmtips Diary for more deep dives into the future of farming. We hope this exploration has been valuable. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. See you again on our next deep dive.